$200,000. Just think about that number for a second. If we rewind to just a few months ago, February of 2026, if you wanted to even test out advertising on ChatGPT, this was the absolute minimum enterprise spend required just to get your foot in the door. You literally had to go through a managed agency, you had to pay a premium $60 CPM, and you had to commit a massive chunk of your marketing budget just to see if conversational AI advertising actually worked for you. And for the vast majority of businesses, that massive price tag kept the door firmly shut.
But today, $0. On May 5th, 2026, OpenAI fundamentally shifted the entire landscape of digital marketing by launching an open, self-serve ads platform. They completely wiped out that enterprise minimum. So today, businesses of literally any size can access the exact same conversational AI advertising ecosystem with absolutely no minimum spend. We are talking about opening up what a lot of folks are already calling a $100 billion AI advertising opportunity.
Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are breaking down the newly launched ChatGPT Ads Manager. If you're a pragmatic business owner, a performance marketer, or honestly just someone fascinated by the intersection of AI and commerce, you are exactly in the right place. Because let's face it, AI moves way faster than we can even refresh our feeds. We are going to build your Pioneer's Playbook for leveraging this brand new conversational AI advertising channel so you can grow your business.
Here's our exact playbook for today. We'll start with the AI advertising shift, then go inside ChatGPT Ads Manager, look at the chat card format, talk about targeting context, dive into tracking and measurement, and finally wrap up with the marketer's playbook. All right, let's kick things off with section 1, the AI advertising shift from search to sentences, because this isn't just a new platform. It's a completely new way people discover things online. Think about how traditional digital ads on platforms like Meta actually work. They're built entirely on passive scrolling, right? You're essentially interrupting someone who's just watching a video to show them a product. Even on Google, you're mostly just matching exact keywords. But AI native advertising happens inside conversational environments. When someone is in ChatGPT, they aren't passively scrolling. They're actively researching, they're asking deep, complex questions, and they're making decisions. They might ask something like, what's the best CRM for a 10-person startup? That is a high-intent decision-making mindset. It's intent-based advertising at its absolute purest.
Now, you might be wondering if that high intent actually translates to your bottom line. Well, the data is already speaking for itself. Criteo reported that referrals from large language model platforms convert at 1.5 times the rate of other digital channels. And get this, visitors coming from ChatGPT spend 60 to 80% more time on site than your average social traffic. Why such a massive bump? Because by the time they click your ad, the AI has already done all the heavy lifting to help them contextualize their problem. They are primed, they are ready, and they're looking for your specific solution.
Section 2, inside ChatGPT Ads Manager, the mechanics of the platform. So the crucial point is understanding the actual nuts and bolts of how this new self-serve interface operates. It is wild to look at this timeline. It took just 86 rapid-fire days to go from a highly exclusive, super expensive enterprise pilot in February to a fully open, self-serve platform on May 5th. A huge milestone happened in April when they introduced CPC, cost per click, bidding. That was a total game changer. It means you aren't just paying for impressions anymore. You only pay when a highly engaged user actually clicks on your ad. That one shift is what transforms ChatGPT from a quirky brand awareness experiment into a really serious performance-oriented marketing platform. We have to be very clear about exactly whose eyeballs you're buying here. Understanding this market segmentation is vital. Right now, in the United States, ads are only served to users on the free tier and the newer $8 a month Go tier. If a user is paying for the $20 Plus tier, the Pro tier, or if they have an enterprise account, they get a completely ad-free experience. Basically, OpenAI is using this ad revenue to subsidize the insane computing costs of those free tiers. So as an advertiser, you're getting access to an absolutely massive pool of free and entry tier users, just not the premium subscribers. Moving right along to section 3, the chat card format. Let's look at what the user actually sees on their screen. Right now, the only confirmed ad format is what's known as the chat card, and it is incredibly streamlined. You have some very strict constraints to work with here. You get a maximum 30-character headline, a 60-character description, and a small, square, 1-to-1 ratio image. That's it. It pops up at the very bottom of the AI's response, separated by a subtly tinted box, and it's clearly marked as sponsored. But listen, here's the absolute most important rule of this format.
OpenAI strictly enforces what they call answer independence. Your ad never, ever alters or influences the AI's actual organic response above it. You are buying visibility alongside the answer, definitely not the answer itself. Section 4. Targeting context, not keywords. For all the direct marketers out there, pay attention, because your traditional strategies are going to look a little different here. Okay, so this is where things get really cool. Instead of bidding on exact match keywords like you're used to, ChatGPT uses something called context hints. You aren't targeting a demographic profile, and you aren't relying on creepy third-party behavioral tracking. Instead, you're providing semantic clues that basically describe the vibe, the topics, and the types of conversations where your product makes sense. The AI reads the semantic content and the intent of a live conversation as it's happening, and it matches that with your hints. It's about matching the underlying problem the user is trying to solve, rather than just sitting around waiting for them to type an isolated keyword. Talk about massive leverage. You get to meet the customer at the exact moment they are trying to solve their problem.
Section 5. Tracking and measurement. Closing the loop. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how OpenAI has built serious, professional-grade performance tracking right out of the gate.
Because let's be real, an ad platform is only as good as its ability to actually prove return on investment. To prove that ROI, you've got an incredibly robust tech stack ready to go. You can drop in the 𝐂𝐴𝐈𝐞 Pixel for your browser-side tracking to monitor things like purchases and signups. For your off-browser events, think CRM entries or offline conversions, they give you a Conversions API or CAPI. The whole system defaults to a 7-day click and 1-day view attribution window, but you can totally configure that to fit your needs. And please, adding UTM parameters to all your destination URLs is highly recommended so you can easily isolate this traffic in your own analytics. This is infrastructure that truly elevates this from an experiment to a serious media buying channel.
And finally, Section 6, the marketer's playbook. Let's bring all of this together into an actionable strategy for leverage.
First up, budget. Look, do not abandon your core channels. If your Google ads are printing money, keep them running. But if your core is stable, industry experts are heavily recommending that you carve out a 10 to 15% test budget specifically for ChatGPT ads. So maybe keep 60% on Google, 25% on Meta or LinkedIn, and drop that remaining 15% into a ChatGPT test. Why? Because right now, competition is low, the cost per clicks are highly efficient for early adopters. You absolutely want to capture that efficiency and learn the ropes of this platform before the masses flood in and completely drive up those bid prices. And this brilliantly illustrates the exact chronological steps you should take to launch a campaign today. Step 1. Before you spend a single dime, set up your tracking. Get that 𝐂𝐴𝐈𝐞 Pixel and CAPI running smoothly. Step 2. Input your natural language context hints. Really sit down and think about the actual problems your customers are asking AI to solve. Step 3. Test multiple creative copy variants. Remember, that chat card format is tiny. You need tight, punchy, solution-oriented copy. Run 5 to 10 variations of your headlines and descriptions so the AI has enough options to match the absolute best message to the specific tone of that user's chat. But here's the secret sauce. Your paid strategy shouldn't just exist in a vacuum. You also really need to master GAO, or Generative Engine Optimization. That's the practice of optimizing your brand's content so these AI models naturally trust and reference your products organically in their answers. Remember, paid ads are just renting a space below the answer. The ultimate winning combination is when the AI naturally recommends you in the organic text, and then your paid chat card is sitting right beneath it, reinforcing that recommendation and giving them an immediate place to click. Those two strategies absolutely have to work in tandem.
So, what does this all mean? The launch of this self-serve ads manager proves that conversational AI is no longer just a fun experimental toy. It is actively becoming a primary discovery engine for consumers. We've officially shifted from passive attention to active intent. So I'm going to leave you with this question to ponder for your own business. In the AI era, discovery is no longer just about optimizing for search rankings. Are you ready to become part of the answer? Start building your playbook today.